These rocky shores where I call home, where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, it's these rocky shores, it's where I long to be. Yes, it's these rocky shores, they are home to me.
Whenever I leave here, it hurts me so. Tears in my eyes, why go? There ain't no work, and the kids need new clothes. The bills need paying, so off I must go.
These rocky shores where I call home, where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, yes, these rocky shores, it's where I long to be. Yes, these rocky shores, they're home to me.
Where did it all go? The life I once had on the ocean's gentle road. My tears in my eyes and my head in my hands, away from my family, I hope they understand.
That is these rocky shores where I call home, it's where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, yes, these rocky shores where I long to be. Yes, these rocky shores, they are home to me. Yes, these rocky shores, they are home to me.
Good evening and welcome to This Week in Review. Tonight's stories include VHF licenses has been amended, summer camp at the A.J. Matthews Elementary School, Toddy Towns update. These stories plus community events, the BBS Playbill, Off the Rack and more coming up after this.
Little things you do that you think are small and few are the things that mean the most to me. So just keep giving whatever you're giving, 'cause even when you're giving just a little,
if you're doing just a little, you're helping a lot.
it helps a lot.
From the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
It helps a lot.
Over the past several months, there's been some concerns raised about the new VHF licensing procedure. In the past, if you wanted to own a VHF radio, you had to have a VHF radio operator's license and a license to buy a VHF radio, plus you had to register your call sign. Recently, the regulations for the VHF radio operation has been amended. Now, if you want to own a VHF radio, you need only to have a license to operate the radio. You don't need a license to install a radio. Also, now you don't need to register your call sign. For example, if you're a fisherman, you can use your boat's name or registration number. If you're not a fisherman, you can use whatever call sign you wish, but in any case, you must still have a VHF radio operator's license. We wonder if this change is for the better or worse. If you have any further questions or are still confused, you can call the toll-free number at 1-888-288-4480. 4480. 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. 288 4480. Even though the elementary school is closed for the summer, there's still quite a bit of activity going on. Vicki Cloger has been hired to organize a computer camp and a reading for fun camp for any student in grades kindergarten to grade 5. The computer camp is scheduled for Mondays to Thursdays from 1 to 4:30 p.m. When we stopped by on Wednesday to see what kind of activities one did at a computer camp, the students were busy with their heart activity. There are 3 groups registered for this camp, and each group attends for 1 week. A typical day at a computer camp would run like this. When they come in at 1 p.m., Vicki gives them a project to do on the computer. This could be writing a story or drawing a picture. They have a lunch break and they can watch a movie during this time or listen to music. Then they do a craft or color a picture which is displayed on the bulletin board. If the weather is nice, the students go outside for a physical activity, or if the weather is not favorable, they stay in the gym to do their activity. Then it's back to the computer lab for more computer fun. Vicki told us that this is meant to be fun for the children, and the schedule is not written in stone and is subject to change depending on what the students want to do. For the reading camp, there are 5 groups of students, 5 students per group. These groups are smaller because then you can work one-on-one with the students. When we visited on Thursday, only 2 students were there for the reading camp. They were at the reading corner reading poems. The students then got an opportunity to write their own poem. This group also does crafts, listens to music, and participates in any other physical activities. One of Burgio's residents has quite an interesting display in his yard. Cyril Billard, formerly of Grand Brit, has on display in his yard 5 boats that he has handcrafted. These boats are quite impressive. He has a model of the coastal boat, the Taverner, also, but she blew over and some pieces were broken off and she asked to be repaired. As you can see, the boats are not the only thing that Mr. Billard has on display. Push that one, will you? Okay. You don't want them now? Stay tuned for more of This Week in Review coming up after this.
Icebergs drift south. Humpbacks migrate to the north. This is the place where their paths cross. Where you can't see the icebergs for whales. There's puffins and petrels, kittiwakes and gulls, guillemots, merlins and murres, owls and osprey, hawks and razorbills, and you can see where the eagles have landed.
On Saturday of last week, we stopped by Southwest Brook Falls. This is a very popular spot where you can look at the salmon as they make their way up the river to spawn. The date for the Tidy Towns competition is fast approaching. On Wednesday, we spoke to Town Manager Doug Kennel for more information.
Yes, Marie, I just want to notify the general public on where we stand with regard to the Tidy Towns competition. As you know, there have been a letter circulated in a newspaper, and it's been given out on BBS on a number of news reports where we are involved in the Tidy Towns competition in Newfoundland. I just want people to know that the judging for the Tidy Towns competition will be held on Monday, July 28th. Two provincial judges will be visiting Burgeo on that day, and they'll be going around to take a look at our town. Judging will be based on beautification, where people have planted trees and flowers. Judging will also be based on landscaping, both private and public, where people have upgraded their property by laying sods or planting grass, seed, etc. And judging will also be based on the tidiness and the effort given to keep the town clean and tidy. How tidy the properties are, and how the town looks in general. I guess if the judges is pleased with our overall effort, we will place high in the standings. Now, last year in the competition, Arbor Britain won in the towns that was the same size as Burgeo. Arbor Britain was awarded 5 picture plants. Burgeo came in with 4, so hopefully this year that we can have the 5 picture plants and be the winner. I would like to encourage the general public to get out and get their property cleaned up, make sure everything is clean and tidy when those people visit. Because after all is said and done, the results of the competition is going to be made public right throughout the province of Newfoundland and also across Canada. If we've got a good result, it's going to attract people to our community, and I think the more visitors that we have, it can only benefit the town, benefit the businesses in our town, improve our tourism. So I would like to encourage everyone to strive to have our town in tip-top condition when these judges visit to do up their report on Burgeo.
The town manager would also like to remind residents whose property is close to the streets that when you mow your lawn, and if any grass happens to go out in the streets, would you please clean this up as well? If we all work together, this year Burgeo will be the winner of the Tidy Towns competition. Stay with us for Off the Rack, the community events, and the BBS Playbill, all after this.
There's houses of aqua, yellow and blue, lime, rose, pink and green, as proud to show their true colors as the folks you'll meet every turn. So take her in your arms and tell her that you love her and meet the world's most friendly folk. We'll sweep you off your feet with a Kelligrew soiree.
Off the Rack. This week as we scanned our tape rack, we came across a tape of when Thomas Amusements visited Burgeo. Let's look back to August 1992. Welcome to the community event segment of tonight's broadcast. I'm Rhonda Green. The Odd Job Squad will be holding TV Bingo on Wednesday, July the 14th at 7 p.m. Cards are $1 each, or $6 or $5, and are available from any member of the Odd Job Squad and are in most stores around town. Please support the Odd Job Squad. Play TV Bingo. Need a fence, bridge, etc. painted? Need some house cleaning done? Need some errands or some other services done? You buy the materials and we supply the student free. There are more than 9 students who are more than eager to help. You can hire a student for a few hours, a day, or even longer. For more information, call Amanda at 886-3389. If your group or organization has an upcoming event planned, we would be happy to advertise it for you. You can contact the BPS office by Wednesday of each week to have items included in this portion of our broadcast. That concludes the community event segment of tonight's program. See you next week. BBS Playbill. Try your luck on Wednesday by playing Odd Job Squad TV Bingo, and you could be the next winner. And I'll be here again next week with This Week in Review. For This Week in Review, I'm Marie Rose. Good night.